Make sure we got everything ready. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to continue on finishing out these lectures and try to, not try, but give us as much information as I can, even if it reached that one person. You know, doing these lectures and especially speaking with people, I rarely get a chance to really indulge and dive into spirituality for real. And I come to find out that people do not have a full understanding of what spirituality is. The main thing that I be speaking on when I do speak to people, I'm in 38, going on 39, studies for over 20 years. And far as organized lectures and organized teaching, I've been doing this for 18 years. So no matter what I done even showed, no matter what I done spoke about, and what we'll call prove to people, it will still be a form of not understanding something, not willing to learn something. Like people will literally put themselves in a position of knowing and having studied what they know or studied the area that they represent or saying they're in. So, but mainly of my talks be dealing with psychology, and I will sprinkle what I'll call spirituality on it, which is occultism, eschatology, phenomenology, metaphysics, and then I would say only thing I'm a master of is frequency, vibration, and energies. But I rarely get to really speak all through spirituality. So this is titled Understanding the Occult, Emotionalism versus Spirituality. Make sure I get my tea on y'all. So, I'm going to give a few examples real quick too as well. And describing occultism, I want to go through the main principles of what we'll call spirituality. Usually people will understand the Kabbalion, but I urge you to get the Kabbalah as well. Hermetics, so you can understand Hermetics as well. And I'm gonna make sure everybody. I'm waiting, making sure everybody getting in too. Making sure everybody getting in. Let me finalize. And I was right there. Let me finalize one more thing. So yeah, so like I said, I rarely get a chance to really speak on spirituality, and this is a person bearing witness to, let alone my 38 years of living on this planet, what we'll call this planet plane. I bear witness to, that's what I bear witness to. I mainly get to speak on psychology. So I'm still getting ready real quick and getting us forms in. So while we getting ready, I want, we're going to speak on and call on the ancestors for this lecture. And my apologies too. No, a brother be tired. So I want us to call on ancestors for energy, ancestral energy. So when I say Ashe, you repeat Ashe. And then when I get to the family members, I want you to call out your own family members, okay? So all ancestors known and unknown, Ashe. And I'm pouring water out. Ashe. All gods and goddesses known and unknown, Ashe. All family members known and unknown, Ashe. And make sure that we start all lectures starting off like that. Calling out the ancestors, the family members, and gods and goddesses. And then we're going to do it again. All family members, known and unknown, Ashe. All gods and goddesses, known and unknown, Ashe. All ancestors, known and unknown, Ashe. Ashe. All right, let's get into business. Okay. So this lecture is Understanding Occultism. Emotionalism versus spirituality. And I'm on So I'm going to break down occultism while I'm giving you the science and proof that you could break into science, but I also learned everything that I'm giving you from elders that's been doing this longer than I've been living, no matter if they here or not. No matter if I'm spelling the name wrong either. Okay. Now we're going to break down this real quick. So we can, because it's the same time, I'm going to go through everything. Just bear witness. One of the craziest things is that being a teacher, or the case may be, and the craziest thing that people will say I'm a teacher and still will go against what the teacher is illustrating or laying down. The most craziest thing, I also bear witness to that. When I was in school and when I was dealing with my teachers, you get what I'm saying? When I was in school and dealing with my teachers. So basically, in the form of, can you believe, can you only imagine can you imagine being a teacher and you teaching and a student telling you that you teaching wrong? I ain't talking about, and I'm being real honest, I know nowadays, my bad, I know nowadays that a kid can challenge, you know, a teacher or the teacher's integrity or whatnot. But we talking about, in this sense, make up anything and see what make up anything. You can make up your own style of attires. And somebody gonna tell you that is wrong or whatnot. These are signs that somebody haven't did the work themselves. Let alone you have a lot of people who claim they're intelligent, they're smart, And one of the reasons why I stopped doing lectures in my workshop several years back is because people, I was bearing witness to people paying to supposedly learn in classes. And it was almost, I was bearing witness to the ego flare. Nobody was there to learn. I was, and it was happening for like 3 years until I'm like, I'm done with this shit. And me realizing that that's what we'll call the ego. You can find this out in the last lecture. I already gave the literature on where you can find what I'm speaking on. And that's how we're going to do that. Because people will try to tell you what to do. And I will allow comments on videos and everything, but I usually don't allow comments on videos because I don't care what somebody is saying, and I'm trying to allow somebody to understand the spiritual teachings, what's spiritual, what's more important. So I'll be outlining that aspect. So I try, and I don't try to do shit, but I do not do anything out of aiming at a targeted audience. I don't do nothing for the money, nothing like this. You get what I'm saying? I believe in the spirit that much. You get what I'm saying? So this is why I attend to things how I do. I take things how I do, let alone I'm in a time and space to where I can walk around freedom, and literally experiment in my practice and all the studies that took majority of my damn life. So ain't no telling what motherfuckers was doing in their life, but I always been studying this. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes you will see my brother on here interviewing me, and rather he's my stepbrother or not, rather that he been in classes I ain't charge him or not, it's a spiritual aspect that people is missing. Is that the genius and what we call and what you know as smart will have to be the people that's asking the questions, not the people that's acting like they know everything. This is why I don't respond to emails, text messages, all of this shit that people be giving me. And is that fair? Because I'm majority, like what I bear witness to even in my life is that I get judged so many times. You get where I'm coming from? I get judged so many times, but I still, the curse, if I would say, and it could be out of ego or whatever the hell, but listen closely. The curse I would say is that I don't wake up and I don't do this work for no money, because it's going to come. I don't do this work for relationships, because it's around me and it's going to come. I don't do this work to satisfy my ego. I don't do this work to satisfy humanity. And the true masterful, when you get to this level of a collective thinking, not being part of the collective, but a collective thinking, meaning you compiled everything. You didn't judge nobody. All of this is what I bear witness to, and I still will have to teach people judging me, telling me whatever the hell. This what comes with it. I didn't. If I were here to get motivated and teach off of that sound articulate, I know how to articulate, so I will do that. I will reference as well. That's something natural to also counteract what you putting out or what somebody else can come at you with. These and all my signs, all the signs that I could lay down to you. Every time, if you able to allow me to speak around you, is never, if you able to be in that position, is full channels. And I take this serious because I wish that I would have somebody around me, like me, that can just channel, give you messages that's unbiased opinions. So all the humanity is out the way. We'll be on a higher level of consciousness. You get what I'm saying? I be urging for that. And in that same sentence, to say or to express is that we usually don't understand the time and space we in right now, in the now. You get what I'm saying? To take advantage of what's around you. Even if you're in a position of even if you're in this position. If I was in a position of somebody acting egomaniac, acting egomaniacally, and if I really had true studies, right, I would still be able to mirror self. So sometimes that is what you will have to do, is mirror self. Even Michael Jackson told you this in songs, in his song. You get where I'm coming from? I'm looking at the man in the mirror. Mirror self, work on self. The highest form of spirituality is spiritual alchemy. The highest form of science is alchemy. So how do you skip science, chemistry, physics, and go straight into quantum? Having problems with your environment. That's why I'm going to have to keep maneuvering how I maneuver. Don't have too many people. Don't be too involved in collectives, because the ego is always around the corner. And majority of us haven't mastered that ego for us to even understand where I'm coming from. Any lecture I give is for advanced, is advanced studies and for advanced students. So I will be belittling myself on not being able to operate out of that energy. You get where I'm coming from? You have people that that's watching or looking at me and want me to operate on a level they'll be. I'm already on metaphysics, so I can explain this and speak to this. Let alone I homeschool. Let alone I homeschooled all my children. Let alone I homeschooled all my nieces and nephews. I don't know what else to tell you, but nobody is doing the work for real. You get what I'm saying? Nobody is doing the work for real. Let's go into and try to stay on topic of understanding occultism. So this is out of the stage that you in, which is what we'll call planet Earth. So my eschatology will always be present. My metaphysics will always be present. Occultism will always be present. And phenomenology will always be present. So I'm going to break down this. And if you let me cook, you will get it. And be willing to learn yourself. So we got Will Smith, and this is all in a subjectively describing eschatology and supposedly end time events. So I'm describing like the event that happened with Will Smith, Chris Rock, okay? And of course, Jada Pinkett is involved because you heard her name. You get what I'm saying? And my apologies of the grogginess because I really do work and I don't never, I do relax. I do be able to recharge. But you get what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Will Smith. And we're going to break this down in where everybody say they. This is why I can break down movies. I can say some shit. But everybody understands something. But you having environmental problems still. But you are spiritual. And you having environmental problems. So, with describing the event that happened, and I know this probably happened, I don't know exactly the date, several years back, whatever. If you want to act stupid, whatever, you can go ahead and act stupid. This is for the high frequency vibrating beings, willing to learn. Not just saying they understand something. So Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, which was a trend dealing with how the information, a viral event. That's what I'm trying to say. So breaking down this viral event in occult and metaphysical and eschatology form. All right, Will Smith, he smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. You get what I'm saying? And instead of being on like, is this real? Is this staged? It could be all the above. You get what I'm saying? But we don't want to stay on that, which is what we'll call humane. You get what I'm saying? Humane thoughts, humane frequencies. We don't want to go on that. Like, that's the problem too. People, you need to have your own agenda. If you had your own agenda, you would stay in your own lane. You wouldn't go outside of that. The scary thing about that is that the audacity of one who think they're on their shit, like you will never be around people or somebody that's on their shit to see you full of shit. The audacity of you. The blasphemy. The blasphemy. You get what I'm saying? Will Smith. Do art thou will. Do art thou will. Aleister Crowley. Do art thou will. Everybody, 48 laws of power. All of this shit. Everybody understand that. So, do art thou will. So, your will. That's who Will Smith will represent in this event. When they're both acting. Let alone you would think I'm lying and they're actors. The craziness. Let alone they actors. So, let alone you think they don't know how to improv. So, you don't think they know how to roll and go with the flow. This is their career. This is their lifestyle off of them. That's why a lot of actors, that's why you will see them in different characters, even when they think they out of character. But it's their lifestyle. They understand one thing you don't understand either. This is a world stage. But let's get back to understanding occultism, because a lot of you motherfuckers act like y'all understand this shit and don't know shit. So Christos. Chris Rocker represents the Christos. Looking at my notes. Will Smith will be will. Do art thou will, the will. Chris Rock represents the Christos, representing the heart chakra. The heart chakra, supposedly. Quote unquote. Quote unquote. Jada Pinkett will be Dionysus. We can go quote unquote too. Alright? Because it's a ritual at play. Then we gonna go when all of this is ain't no possibility. What is the ritual at play? The ritual at play was a Kalima ritual. Google Kalima, do all that, whatever you gotta do to understand this. Okay, I'm gonna scat over. You got Kalima, you got also Tupac, which was a thug. So Google this. So you got Thuggy. You Google this, you will find this in what we'll call India. So this would be a form of Indo-Kush as well. You'll have the Thuggy, which is the child or the children of Kalima. So you can Google all this right quick. So off of a spiritual transmission too, or a channel that I received, that's also who Tupac was. I'm jumping and I'm getting ahead of myself as well. So I hope you also get that on this board. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off real quick so I don't go too far ahead. And make us remember where we at far as like end time events and breaking down understanding occultism. So remember I wrote down Tupac represent the thug, whatever. That was a channel over years ago. So another lecture I'll speak on that. But just to prove them channels, you had the chance to Google and write all that down. So let's make sense of this event right quick. And then Christos, Christ energy. Occultism, you can say this will be the sacrificial lamb. And there's no accident that Will Smith been doing rap tours after all of that shit. And still, had a movie in the midst of all that. Chris Rock, you see his career, whatever. So Jada Pinkett also represent Dionysus, which is the dying Isis. You get what I'm saying? The other polarity of Isis. So the elites wouldn't have to always be white or black either. The elites wouldn't have to always be white or black, whatever. The elites is exactly what the elites are. This is proven because no matter what you think it is or who you think is why is it always they and them? Because it will have to be bigger than that. And plus people will know these form of orders, this form of light to operate out of, this understanding of occultism. This is how, let alone their playing field work. So the ritual that was the gateway to open is to have the so-called minority in line first before a whole ritual is exposed. So whenever this happened, we know this happened a few years ago, according from where this is dated to when this event happened. So this is to show you the works on how ahead they also work. Them, they, whoever you want to call them. So if it's them and they, then them and they will have to be very diverse. them and they can't be one look, one emotion, one attitude. Even in that sense, you don't understand occultism. So this would be the eschatology form of right now, or end time eschatology, or event in this time that people are living. So this type of science is proving that a lot of shit is not manipulated. Hope I'm not too loud either. It's not manipulated. Dealing with indoctrinated information, as far as what I mean by manipulation. So this is a played out ritual on, like, this is why when this event happened, rather than me, is it real? Is it fake? I wasn't thinking about that. I was reading the ritual at play, because 9 out of 10 these niggas will get the script and do the script and don't even know what the hell they doing. You get what I'm saying? But the formula will be laid out so pristine. That's how powerful the ego is too. It's everywhere. It will never stop. That's the evilness, is the ego. Conference of Nicaea has something to do with that too. So they put evil in and removed ego out as well. That's one of the things they did. A ritual for you to perform against yourself, your shadow self, when you conquer yourself. You will still go over the spiritual process, even if you align with the code. So you know everything you know. That's why a lot of people will have problems with this world, problems all the time. I can understand it because I've been there. Am I still going through it? No, hell no. And the sickest thing about the ego is that you will make yourself. I bear witness to where I can. It's where I can make myself go through shit and trip off of shit. Then when I really analyze even that feeling, it's all to relate with somebody else shit. So it'll still be in the form of trauma bonding. So this is a ritual written out at play. Everybody say they understand something. But even if I just laid this down, even when I wrote the names, you should already knew the formula. Or not the formula, you should be able to add or knew the code. You get what I'm saying? In so many words, or be able to understand this event that is at play right in front of your face. A ritual to make you go against your shadow self when you conquer it. So even in this time of 2025, that will be the ritual at play too. So whenever this event happened, this is how far ahead that the collective, them they be ahead of your smart ass, your genius ass, but you never ever ask questions. You know everything. He who know everything knows nothing. He who know one books know none. So the Will Smith, the dramatic event where he was smacking Chris Rock, Will Smith will be representing Will. Chris Rock will be representing the Christos. Jada Pinkett will be representing the Dionysus. So this will be a ritual of resurrecting Kalima, which represents the shadow realm, shadow self, the dark side, or what we'll speak and metaphysically as the ego. So this is a ritual to not allow you to be able, and not even a DNA change, to be able to allow in the process for you to be able to alchemize and come into a light, blocking a ritual of blocking a gateway. You get what I'm saying? A ritual of blocking a gateway. All right, so let's move right along. And we're going to go over the principles right quick. Let me get my tea on y'all's. Let me get my T's on y'all. Hold up. All right. So let me get my T on y'all. Baphomet. I shade Brother Panic too as well. Yakub. That's my dude. So let's get this right quick. Let's do this work. Okay. So the ritual of the shadow self will be described also in the Bible as the sacrificial lamb. You get what I'm saying? The sacrificial lamb. Now we in a day of time, especially what people will, even the so-called spiritual people, conscious people will say we're in a time and space of technology. So Google sacrificial lamb to understand this. Try to screenshot, write this down, whatever you got to do. All right? All right. Let's get this out. All right. Let me see. Now, let's go into these principles since everybody know everything. Since you're so smart that you never ask questions, right? We're going to go with one. First principle. Hold up. Let me make sure okay. My bad, y'all. I had a Negro moment right quick. I'm just playing. Had a little nigga moment. Okay, principle of mentalism. Principle of mentalism. The first principle of like these seven, what will in some terminology and studies, it'll be like representing the first of the seven principles. So dealing with this principle of mentalism, this is where we get all is mind from. All right? All is mind and the universe is mental. Can I see that? Principle of mentalism. So this is where you get all is mind, the universe is mental. So in occultism and understanding occultism, this is why it's very important that you have your own agenda, because the ego is what you will call evil in occultism as well. The matrix, the world is what you will call hell. So this is ever ending, always around as well. Principle of mentalism, all is mind. This is where all is mind, the universe is mental. A lot of people have a problem with this. The first principle. So if you control your mind, you literally, in occultism, if you control your mind, you control what's around you, your environment, let alone the world and the universe. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people cannot grasp this. Just like in the movie The Matrix, how the kid was showing how he bent the spoon, and he was saying that you can't bend the spoon, but you can wrap your mind around the spoon to bend it. And I'm still going ahead of myself trying to assist y'all too hard. So let me give you this without giving you the answers, what I'm trying to stick to. Because it might seem like I'm giving you the answer, but I'm still not saying shit to me. This is still dealing with a form of psychology, and I'm just sprinkling what I call spirituality all over this. This is why people have a problem with this, because I don't know why, but it's for them. When I hear people having a problem with this principle of mentalism, all is mind, the universe is mental. When I hear that, and even when occultists hear that, and when somebody dealing with psychology hear that, first thing should pop up is that a person cannot control their mind. One cannot control what they think. That's common sense. So if you control your mind, you control the universe. It's also a saying, he who grasps the truth of mental nature of the universe is well advanced on his path to mastery. He who grasps the truth of a mental nature of the universe is well advanced on his path to mastery. So that is a person that simply can control the mind. So let's see if I can give a few examples without giving I think I gave a few or enough examples where I'm giving people in a logical form, because that's where y'all stuck at. No imagination, no little seasoning to make it spiritual, to make what around you move. Because I will say manipulation, but we are trained to hear that word in a negative form. So let's just keep moving right along with these principles. You got another principle, or what we'll call another law, out of the 7 laws or the 7 principles. You got correspondence. This is where it come into play of as above, so below, right? As above, so below. So let's see, as the principle, let's say as a principle, correspondence basically enable you, or enable one to basically reason with intellect from knowledge, to know the unknown. So correspondence, as above, so below, all of this, like as a knowledgeable principle, it corresponds one to enable and have reason to utilize intellect and to bring the known, or to understand the known from the unknown. So there we have it again too. One thing that we also, one thing that reeks off of us is that you think you're here to be something new. You think you're here to evolve into something. This is why a lot of things don't work out for people. A lot of people think they're doing spiritual things when it's really nothing but physical things you're doing. So, correspondence, the law of correspondence also proves that nothing happens just because. So, to even understand this law, which is only the second law or the second principle of what we'll call knowledge to be or spirituality to be, in occult form, this correspondence, which is the second law, is understanding that you have to know thyself. Know thyself. Instead of transforming into Osiris, Isis, uh, Hippocrates, Muhammad Ali, Talahun, the best motherfucker in the world, whatever the hell you want to be. Dealing with correspondence, you should be able to know yourself instead of doing what the collective or everybody think or say they know, whatever the hell. A lot of people think that they are here to become something when you're supposed to be here to know yourself. And I'm trying to speak in a form to where I'm not giving y'all the answers. And this is what the lectures will be for as well. Uh, Serious inquiries, reach out through Gmail, King Mystery School at gmail.com, and to get the flyer of my spiritual services. So you'll see if I can assist you, in your spiritual journey. So in the law of correspondence, understanding that, I guess I'm still giving you the answer, but I'm really not, because you still have to do the work. Can't nobody help you, can only assist you. So let's go into knowing thyself in so many words. Because a lot of people think that you are here to become something when you're really supposed to know yourself. I don't want to stay on even certain things too long because they don't matter. So basically, when you operate out of this law, you understand that, like, the biggest things that you have to wrap your mind of, the biggest things in the world, it should be able to be also be able to come small for you to even understand this principle. We got three. We got three. Principle of vibration. Principle of vibration is expressing to you that nothing moves. Nothing rests, everything moves. Everything has a vibration. So, let's see, how can I break this down into a occult form for you? Let's see. So, this will also, in a occult form, for you to understand that once you master your moods, your feelings, all of this, what you project, all of this, Once you understand this principle, mastering this concept of vibration, you basically mastering self. So a way to obtain this principle is to become what you want instead of chasing it, anything. So instead of chasing something, become it. And of course, these teachings is only for the advanced. I hope there ain't no hope in this. Principles of vibrations. Mastering your feelings, your moods, all of this have vibrations. And if you don't understand what you're doing, then something is getting created out of this. So what you call is monsters, demons, low energies, all of this is being created out of you because you don't understand it. Nothing rests, everything moves. But once you know this, you can also take control of this and be able to become it or become what you want instead of chasing it. Becoming what you want instead of chasing it to master this principle. Become what you want instead of chasing it. So what you project, what you accept out of this world, so like health, happiness, all of this is vibrations. So you have to become what you want instead of chasing it. And everybody understand or act like they understand these principles. The sickest thing is that it's proof, even when you go back to the basics, it's proof that you don't know this shit. You don't know what you done. That's okay. We all here to learn. You got to be humble enough, innocent enough to really learn. So your moods, feelings, thoughts have vibrations. That's another reason why you can contact me also at King Mystery School at gmail.com. Psyche workshops assist you to get through all these, let alone this is kindergarten work to what I teach you in a workshop. You get what I'm saying? Very, very good price on every spiritual services that I can provide. Very good price. So I also teach you this more in depth, go more in depth to assist you to get, let alone these principles, but to utilize and get, utilize what you are, what you have, and get what you want, let alone understanding these principles and able to utilize these. So let's see something right quick. You know what? Let me prove something. So we're gonna go back to the principle of vibration. And let me see something out of my notes, make sure I got everything right. So let's see. Make sure y'all understand these three principles, because I probably need to use this whiteboard. But we can keep going. Let's see. So, love, So, dealing with the principle vibrations too, this is measured. Love operate off of 500 hertz. Frequency operate off of 150 to 200 hertz. This is also in David R. Hawkins' book, describing the power of the force. David R. Hawkins describing the power of force. He also showed data and reference data dealing with how frequency also changed your DNA. David R. Hawkins, power of force. So in the book, he proves and have data and reference data proving that these vibrations and frequencies and energies changes your DNA. So how could we increase these vibrations? Let's go with a solution, and we're going to stay on the occult and try to get out the humane so you can really start doing the work. So one of these ways to increase these principles of vibrations or to increase your vibration is okay, so let's see. All right. I'm remembering something. Okay, so this might be backwards. Ain't that a bitch? So this might be backwards because I'm on this Apple. So I don't like Apple product shit. But this might be backwards. Shit. So it might look like scribble scrabble, but I hope y'all understand this. And I hope y'all listen. Shit. That's one thing about these apples. So I gotta do this in a different way. But I hope you understand. So I'm gonna have to most definitely have a part two of this because this whiteboard is backwards. Ain't that something? So let's see. Okay. Principle of vibrations. And where was I going with this? Let's see. Okay. All right. So the measurements and how to increase your vibrations is how to increase your vibrations is spiritual baths. You can do that. And on an advanced level, also what I teach in what I can give you do through lectures or dealing with consultations and the workshops is all the above to assist you into moving forward in your spiritual journey. So like the spiritual baths, I also have uh spiritual bath ingredients that you can do yourself or you can buy the spiritual bath ingredients that's already made. King Mystery Schools at gmail.com. You can also balance out and conquer this principle by creating entities and deities to serve you. Dealing with psychology, this will be in the realm of thought forms. So, what you are, you thinketh, what a man thinketh, he is, all of this. So, even for ritual form, your home, like basically what you can do to raise the vibration also in your home and in you is to clean out each corner in your room, sprinkle salt or whatever. I can also give you rituals and certain techniques to utilize and rise the vibration. And one I can give you for free that I done gave out through for many years is putting pennies in each corner of your home as well, let alone the sea salt or salt, to rise the vibration that's surrounding your home. My apologies for me writing on this board and if it's backwards to you, but I hope that you can understand and at least write down what I'm giving you. At least write down what I'm giving you. And to me, uh, a lot of symbology, a lot of signs showing something, showing that I don't have to go that hard in this. It will. I got time. I will be able to do a part 2 on this as well. So a lot of people understand occult or whatever, but you skip science, you skip chemistry, physics, and jump straight into quantum physics. When you don't understand science, chemistry, or physics, there's no way to do that with let alone you don't ask no questions. And the way people interact with, let alone me, and will turn around and say they love me. I'm gonna teach you all this stuff, but don't even sit your ass down and learn something, man. Won't even sit yourself down. Like I said, most of people think you're supposed to do this work, study spirituality to become something. You're supposed to know thyself. Humanity is to expand the mind. Humanity is to expand the mind. Now, if this is backwards, whatever. Law of law of polarity. Law of polarity, where in occultism we'll say like everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. So another saying is like liking is unlike, like and unlike are the same. Let's go more in depth. Like and unlike is the same, and everything has its pair of opposites. Law of polarity in occultism, you can say everything is dual. Expressing the law of polarity, everything is dual. Dealing with occultism, uh, we'll say like and unlike are the same. But dealing with law of polarity, everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same, opposites are identical in nature, but different in degrees. This is why the knowledge that I have, or wisdom that one would say I have, this is not up for debate. I will never put myself in a position to debate. This is why you always also have to manage balance too. Because what you put out, just as the same as you put out, you'll receive that exact same form of backlash, in so many words, or resistance. So understand the law of polarity. This is why you will, what's another saying? Move every 10 steps you move forward, you get 10 steps back plus some, or 2 steps up, 2 steps back, something like that. Them are basically like sayings out of not basically mastering the principle, which is law of polarity. So, in another quote saying, everything unlike is like. Everything unlike, everything like is unlike. Opposites are identical in nature, but difference in degree. Extreme meets. All truths are half truths. So, a person that is not understanding this, you got to understand you are in polarity. So for a master teacher or a teacher, you should be able to speak in polarities. Positive, negative. You should be able to express both polarities. I hope you understand this. One other thing, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward because you fools still will say you know something. You're supposed to be learning something. You're supposed to be learning something, son. Supposed to be learning something. And plus, this whiteboard is backwards. We're gonna go with another principle. And this is the principle of rhythm. Probably spelled rhythm wrong. Principle of rhythm. Ain't that something? I got it written down the right way, but so the principle of rhythm, you will hear this in a quote way of saying this, like what goes around comes around. Something like that. What goes around comes around. What you put out come back in. What goes up goes down. So if you in this position of roller coaster effect, up and down, good days, bad days, good mood, bad mood, you haven't mastered the principle of rhythm. Having up and down type of days, you basically getting used by this principle, and you being affected by this principle. So one of the and you also, it's also stated that you can't do nothing about this principle either. Like you can't. It's always around. This principle always around. So to conquer it, you gotta understand that this principle is basically always around. Dealing with the principle of rhythm, you must be able to manage your energy. You should be able to manage your energy, because if you don't manage this energy, you won't, like, this is why a lot of people have problems even with their own science. They'll be in a form of a science and will be questioning their own space that they're in, and don't even realize that. In the same time, they'll say that they God. In the same time, they'll say that they have full fully understanding of what they're doing or where they at or whatever the hell is going on. But they really suffering also from the principle of rhythm. Not understanding what you put out, what you put in. So like just like if I was to get rich as hell, $10,000 or 10% rich, you will have to bear witness of a 10% of poorness that's exiting your area, your aura, your realm. So if I was to get rich, just like if I'm working out all the time, as much as I'm putting in, I will have to bear witness of how as just as much as I lost. So this dealing with the principle of rhythm as well. So this is why you have people doing whatever they doing. Drugs, what you will call drugs. You might call it medicines. I don't know what the heck. Uncontrolled ego, whatever the heck. This is why a lot of you will literally at the end of the day it's still psychology with sprinkle with a little bit what we call spirituality on it because you still ego tripping. You still ego tripping, not understanding and respecting these laws and these principles. And this principle of rhythm, what you basically, so we'll call this like in science, this is the process of neutralization. You get what I'm saying? The process of neutralization. What you basically putting out will come back tenfold. That's why you have to make sure that you balancing out and understanding the rhythms. Just like even with a pendulum, as it goes to the left, as much as it goes to the right. That's why I don't do a lot of like this, these lectures, these teachings. I wake up as a teacher. I'm not doing this for whatever the else come with this. And in order for me to even get to the next step, I will have to not think about what's supposed to be good, what's bad, what's there, what's not there. I will have to respect the principle of rhythm so I can even be in this time and space, even have this godly supreme being experience and understand these polarities. Just like if I'm breathing air, what I'm pushing out, you got to understand what is also exiting out of you. So, in a time of peace, you should always prepare for war. If you're doing whatever works, you should always understand the opposite polarity of that work. That's respecting the principles of rhythm as well. Six, cause and effect. So every cause has its effect. Every cause has its effect. For everything that happened to you in a cult form or the cult understanding, for everything that happens to you, you should understand why it's happening. So if somebody say that they magic ain't working, I can't believe that. I can believe that you don't know what the hell you doing and you not fully understanding what the hell you saying. And that's natural. Because that's the ego. So cause and effect. That's why nothing, understanding this principle, this law, you understand that nothing happens just because. Everything happens for a reason. And if you operating on this high vibration and you operating out of this principle of mentalism, understanding correspondence, understanding and respecting the principle of vibration, law of polarity, principle of rhythm, you will be able to understand also cause and effect. So if you really doing something as well, you will receive benefits from your work. We got to go beyond good or bad too at the same time, because you also have morale. You understand morale. You should be able to understand morals. Morale to even understand these damn principles. This shit ain't for no dog to be trying to understand this, which is out of his nature, even if you see a dog riding on a bike. Shouldn't be for a seal to understand this, even if you see a seal riding a bike and blowing a damn horn. All of those things, yes, they can do that, but you should have common sense that that's also out of their nature. So for every problem that you have in your life, you should be able to understand why that happened. So if I was to light a candle and set my intentions and say, I just want to have a good day tomorrow, you would have to not be looking at something truly spiritually and will actually want a movie or a TV effect for you to believe it to happen, or a logic event to happen for you to understand, rather than true spirituality. So you'll be able to see and understand what the hell is going on. So for somebody to even say that they magic don't work or they having a problem with something, you also haven't mastered this principle of cause and effect, because every time you do something, it will always be an effect. So even if I light a candle and set my intentions and whatever, so all you would have to do is don't believe, to not have your own shit to work for your own self. Seven. Seven, principle of gender. Principle of gender. Now, let me go in some notes, because I'll just go in some notes. If I don't be able to find this, that is okay. I should still be able to have you to understand this. Principles of gender. The principle of gender is at play of understanding this. You also have to understand symbology. So if you a man in this time and space, you should be trying to master the feminine side spiritually, not physically. and vice versa. We're dealing with the woman. You born as a woman, you should be able to understand the masculine side or your masculine side, and vice versa. Vice versa. So this is understanding the principle of gender. Understanding the principle of gender also allows you to flow with the opposite, let alone you not understanding that this is also on the inside of you. And you also understand that spiritually, you can still say that the true understanding don't have gender involved. But the principle of gender is for you to also remember what's law and what's principles. So in occultism, for example, you have your mother and you have your father. So even in occultism, so what this from my understanding and what I found out is that you don't have a mother. You don't have a father. Your mother and father is just some symbols representing principles of gender. So your mother and father is symbols representing also principle of gender. Occult wise and metaphysically explained, your mother represents the feminine aspect. Your father represents the masculine aspect. And dealing with occultism and explain the metaphysics, and these are also channel notes for you to understand that occultism is real, metaphysics is real, let alone fully understanding metaphysics. Like your mother represents the matrix, the program that you're in that's not meant for you to break out of. So although you have a physical mother, metaphysically explained, this is what she represents. The matrix, the program that's not meant for you to break out of. And your father represents the masculine aspect. Even understanding spirituality and occultism, your father don't even exist. Even the best of the fathers, no matter if they're at home or not, or whatever, they don't even exist. Because the feminine aspect really overrides that. We only exist like in symbology, representing the masculine principle. You get what I'm saying? Or the masculine side, symbology to that. And a balanced father is understanding or in the realm of feminine and masculine. And it's just dealing with spirituality, nothing physical. This is why a lot of humans have this problem. Now you have drag queens saying they a father and a mother, vice versa, a woman saying she the father and the mother. A whole mind fuck. A whole like blasphemy. Fully not understanding spirituality. But everybody know everything. So your mother and your father really don't exist. But dealing with this physical in a humane state that you comfortable with, if you can understand metaphysically explain that these represent the feminine and the masculine aspect. So it's symbology for your subconscious and your conscious to understand for oneself. Even when you talking, all you really doing is having a conversation with yourself. You really you really talking to yourself. You understand these principles, so I shouldn't have to go too deep into what the hell I just said with that. So with the feminine and the masculine, mom and dad being out of whack or whatever, this what creates the hell, the cycles, the curses, the traumatic events, all of this. The unbalance from the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect of one's life. Let alone you have people that's unbalanced, rather they represent this and symbolizing the feminine and masculine, and a diamond still is raised out of that. So it don't matter too when it get to that. You get where I'm coming from? So even in that saying and even in that state of understanding, true spirituality has no emotions to it. It has no look. And understanding occultism, you'll understand and be able to break through this shit to be able to assist yourself instead of trying to have conversations outside of yourself. Not understanding that you are talking to yourself, not understanding that you are here to master thyself, not become something. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to master thyself, master yourself, master your mind to be able to run and control what you are living in. And it don't matter about if I'm right or wrong. I mean, it would take an average person just to calm down and allow assistance. It'll take an average person until they dead. Because people will die dumb. People will die dumb. All right, so these are the principles right here. Um, and I also started off with like occult methods, occult breakdowns to assist you in breaking it down, breaking and understanding the occult. And of course, I'm going to have a part two of this because everybody say they understand something in the science. And plus, I didn't know that this backboard would probably be backwards to y'all. Ain't that something? Wasn't thinking about it. Principle of mentalism, correspondence, principle of vibration, law of polarity, principle of rhythm, cause and effect, principle of gender. So even if you have to rewind this lecture just to understand so I can move forward, because it will be a part two of this, even if it don't be the next uploaded lecture, you will still, I will still complete these series of lecture events or lectures. Rather, we'll call this a sit down lecture or whatnot. So allow you to sit with this science and come up with something. Come up with something for as a form of understanding. So come up with something as a form of understanding. So all of you motherfuckers out there talking about how much your daddy ain't shit, how much your mother ain't shit, you can't say you spiritual. But in a venting form, in a collective, you just expressing yourself, venting, releases. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to get past that to conquer these true aspects that's out, these true aspects of yourself, and so you can have a field day with your life. And not just learning and constantly reading something, but be able to develop your own agenda. And I always say this a lot. So if you can imagine that you have a spaceship waiting for you, and it's your spaceship, and all you have to do is remember how to get back on that spaceship, why the hell aren't you just doing that work, retaining data, so you can know how to operate your own ship? And metaphysical, or metaphysically speaking, have your own agenda. It starts with literature. Have your own agenda, so no matter what the matrix get through, well, no matter what the matrix is doing, you still doing your own work for your own spiritual path, your own spiritual journey for yourself. And you have a lot of, it's like you should be sick of seeing people. I don't care. I'm out of that. I don't even care. You don't want to learn, whatever. You don't, it's nothing. It's nothing. The craziest thing is that I would still have, is people out here that have something for you to be able to still go off of. They'll still be able to teach humbly and to be able to even just get out the message. Don't have nothing to worry about, none of that. Because this is bigger than me or you. You got to understand this. But while you here, you don't have to be for real. If even if I say I'm bored, I'm really not bored. Because to be honest, I can go with, if I had to, I can be a misanthrope. But that's not what I'm here to do. Because I understand true spirituality. I understand what I'm here to do. Everything just don't happen for a reason. You get what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason, and it's up for you, or it's up for one to find out and or understand this. Forget the finding out. You need to understand this. Because when is the finding out gonna stop? Like, God, Lee, when is you not learning and know everything gonna stop? Believe it or not, I want to go in so hard, but you gotta let that science. You gotta let it simmer down so it can be eaten, man. And I'll try to hurry up and run through this stuff right quick. So, out of the principle, first principle, he who grasps the truth of mental nature of the universe is well advanced on his path to mastery. Correspondence. Everybody say whatever the heck you understand. So this is the same thing of understanding, like with knowledge as its principle. It's consciousness and core and of consciousness. So with knowledge as its principle of consciousness, and with knowledge as its principle, it corresponds. Enable for you to reason intellectually from known to unknown, from unknown to known. Big things becoming small things. You understanding this. Principle of vibration. 3. Everything moves. So nothing rests, everything moves. So in this principle, you will have to become what you want and not chase it, far as occult wise. Okay, so I'm almost basically giving you a little answers. And you got a lot of people say they know the quantum or have a quantum understanding, but you outruling science, chemistry, and physics. So I don't know how the hell you even trying to talk quantum physics with me. Let alone people don't never ask questions. Ain't this some shit? I ain't talking about the people that do, but the ones that don't, they know everything. Full house, empty mind. Full house, empty mind. So what else? The laws of polarity. So occult. Let's see. Yeah. So like everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. So even if you don't like somebody, you don't like somebody because that's a half of you that you haven't dealt with. This law proves it. This law proves it. The law of polarity. You got the principle of rhythms. You also have cause and effect. You also have principles of gender. It will have to be a part two to give an expound, and I don't go too deep, and I be talking forever. I done did this for so many years. All that talking don't mean shit. So sprinkle y'all with something so you'll understand something. True spirituality is not, I don't give a damn about no comments. I don't give a damn about that. I hope you understand it and getting this work, and I hope I can assist you. I don't hope nothing. But this is what this is for. In a teaching form and to assist someone. Which is advanced. This is advanced teaching. If you don't understand this, why is you even saying something? Try to learn this. Try to learn something. And I know it's hard if this is backwards, but I ain't try to do that. You get what I'm saying? But we'll find some way else. I understand how I got to do this, and that's basically using the iPad backwards, like somebody holding it and shooting. You will see this in a better form. So all love, and we want to close out all ancestors known and unknown. Ashe. All gods and goddesses known and unknown. Ashe. So peace and love, y'all. Make sure that you reach out uh, for any assistance and any spiritual services. We also, the King Mystery School is in effect. We loading up the seats for that. Ceremonies, acts about that. We also have spiritual signature readings, the Psyche workshop. Uh, Seats are filling up. What else we have? Lectures, events, party with the gods and goddess event is coming, so you will be able to dress as your favorite god, goddess, entity, or deity. We'll give the information for that. Make sure you contact also family8business at gmail.com if you will want DJ services. So we have DJs to also come out, deal with your ceremonies, your weddings, any type of events. So this is what this is about. Also running a spiritual business enterprise without forcing and lying and milking you motherfuckers. Straight all truths. Nothing can combat with this. You won't see me in no debates. This information is not for up for the debate. Plus, I reference a lot of material that you probably ain't even heard of, but you want it. I don't care if you is or you heard of it. I'm not trying to make you believe in anything. You get where I'm coming from? This is data and research data and a little bit of reference and bibliography because somebody is right here in front of you speaking. So it's all love. Love you all. Thanks for everybody that's supporting and keep in tune. This is understanding occultism, emotionalism versus spirituality. Understanding occultism, emotionalism versus spirituality. Peace and love. Stay tuned for the next lecture. All love.